Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little afternoon stream for you lads and lasses. What is going on, peeps? Hope you're all having a cracking day today. It's sweltering hot here in the old garage office, peeps, and I am properly melting. But good to see you all. Thank you very much for getting in here and waiting patiently for us to get going. We've got loads to get into today. Loads and loads of information to discuss and react to and get your thoughts and opinions in, and etc. So we've got a plenty to get into for this afternoon show. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Do us a favour at the start of this show and smash that like button on it. That's right. Give us a big thumbs up if you haven't done so. You have to forgive me if I'm doing my snotty McTominay impression today, but... feeling very, very like snotty today. I've just been like blowing my nose for the last 10 minutes with my brain coming out of my nose, basically, guys. So you have to forgive me. I don't know if it's hay fever. I don't think I've got hay fever, guys. People say I've got hay fever, but I don't. I don't have melt fever, guys. I think I'm just coming down under with something. You what? But you know what I'm saying. So, we'll try and not snot all over the place throughout the show. But good to see you all. Do us a favour at the start, as I say. Hit the thumbs up button. Smash the likes. Give us a share around if you haven't done so on social media, wherever you can. That would be amazing. The link is pinned to the top of the live chat as well. So get yourself in there by smashing a repost over there on x.com. Or maybe Twitter, if that's what you want to call it. So please do that. Go over and give us a share, and we'll give you a shout out a bit later on. Hello, United. What's going on, Johnny M? Time is up, 23. Yes, indeed. I love him too, my son. Get in there. Great haircut, by the way, my son. OG, Johnny, Alex Core, Uncaged Squid, Mikhail Kramer. What's going on there? Special One, Noble Army, Kingslayer, Andy Corkin, Gungshi. What's happening, lad? Oh, no. Chewamani! Chewbacca! Oh, shit. Excuse me, peeps, excuse me. Oh, Gungshi, I hope you're doing well. Sanjay Ramatar, OG, Chris Koo, how you doing there, my friend? Nick Pendragon, Tommy Boyle. I am full of cold, mate. It's filth, bro. Just woke up with it today, man. Chris says, you look healthy today, though, pig. Do you reckon? I don't know about that, mate. I feel fucking ill. Berber, what's going on? Yes, everybody, thank you so much for getting in here. I appreciate you. I don't know, I might be getting sick. Pigsy, you melter. Hope you're not getting sick. Thank you, Spirit Wolf. I appreciate you. Oh, Gungshi is a hero, Kevin Kilban. Oh, definitely. Gungshi's one of the nicest humans on this globe. No doubt about it. Hello, Berber, you legend, and everybody. Thanks for getting in. Anyway, thank you, Chris. Everyone, do us a favour. It's not hay fever, the special one. I don't have melt fever, mate. Pigs don't succumb to hay fever like regular folk. Come on. Guys, get your favourite emoji in there to welcome in King Face. He's a man with a large face, apparently. King Face, thanks so much for being a member of this channel, becoming a member. Get your favourite emoji in there to welcome in Mr. King Face, guys. Come on. You love to see it. Thank you so much to King Face. Everybody get your favourite emoji to welcome in. Thanks for supporting the channel, mate. I do appreciate that, honestly. Legend. And Gungshi has been a member of this channel for 43 months. Let's get a hashtag 43 in the live chat for this absolute true legend. Gungshi, seriously, thank you so much, pal. Nearly 4 years this guy's been a sausage soldier. A sausage soldier. A general of the Hamada. You know what I'm saying? An absolute hero. Thank you so much, Gungshi. You're a fucking hero, dude. He says, get better soon, pig. Thank you so much. I will try, mate. I will try, but I am truly melting at the moment. But I'm going to cover it, cover all the news anyway and get into it raw. I'll try my best to not be physically off-putting, but we'll try. Hey, thank you, Gungshi. Guys, get a 43 in the live chat. Seriously, that is an immense time to be a member of this channel, man. So thank you so, so much from the bottom of my piggy loins now. For being a member of that time. Oh, that's awesome, Kingface. I appreciate you, dude. Oh, shit. Sorry to hear that, bud. That's cash. James Whelan, 4 months a member. Come on. He says, loving the content, you legend. Thank you, Mr. Whelan. That's very nice of you as well. Hashtag 4 for you. That happens to be the same new shirt number as Mr. Sofyan Amrabat. Nice segue here. And Sofyan Amrabat's obviously been talking about joining Manchester United. We might as well start with that to begin with, actually. It's the positive news, isn't it? Thank you, James Whelan. Also, Dynamic Melon's got his highlighted comment in there. He says, 3 months and counting. Get in there. Your rages are the funniest thing ever. Thanks for the fun and enjoyable moments, mate. Ah, dude. What's going on today? This is like a piggy love it already. Cheers, man. Thank you so much, Dynamic Melon. That's very kind. Martin McGrath, it says, how much is a month membership? You can join for as little as $1.99 a month. $1.99 gets you access to emojis and your name in green and a badge next to your name and admiration from the posse. Also, I think you've already got one, so you were gifted a membership, probably from somebody like Gungshi. So you're a fucking legend. But yes, hey, the Gaming Jew, what's going on, mate? I'm not too bad, mate. I've got a bit of swine flu at the moment, though. I'm not feeling too well. But other than that, I'm not too bad, mate. How are you getting on, bro? I hope you're keeping well. I hope you're keeping well. I'll just say very quickly, actually, the Gaming Jew could do with your help. He's just joined Kick due to YouTube taking away his channel monetization, which is fucking gashtastic. Go over to search the Gaming Jew on Kick, because you need 75 followers to get monetization on Kick. Go and give him a follow on Kick, guys. The Gaming Jew, he's a funny legend. Go check him out. Even if you're not going to check him out, just go and subscribe to his Kick channel. Legend. Hey, nice one. Right. Okay, guys, I better get into the news. I better start with the show. Let's talk about Sofyan Amrabat, seeing as there was a wee segue a moment ago into it. Let's just talk about this, right, guys? So, Amrabat on Ten Hag. Amrabat's been coming out. He's been verbally praising Erik Ten Hag. He's coming for a bit of criticism recently, hasn't he, old Eric? Due to the gash start to the season and some of this player issues with the likes of Sancho and stuff. People not happy with the way that he's handled the situation, maybe. Thank you, Ian Millard. That's very nice of you, bro. Hey, no worries, the Gaming Jew. Yeah, give him a follow on Kick. It's another streaming platform special one, lad. Yep, just search the Gaming Jew up if you're on Kick and give him a follow. You know it makes sense. Anyway, Amrabat on the importance of Ten Hag to his career. This is what he said. He said, very important because I was very young. I was 18 or 19 and he gave me the chance to play in the Utrecht first team. We've had a fantastic time, a very good season. I learned a lot from him. He's maybe one of the most important people in my career so far. Love that. Love all the praise he's given there to Erik Ten Hag. Ten Hag, obviously quite a influential figure in the early part of his career. We heard that, you know, previously Amrabat's been quoted before he joined Manchester United as saying that after the games, Erik Ten Hag would dissect all the individual performances, etc., with the players and really go in there and tell them what they've done good, what they've done wrong, and try and make them better in that sense. So I think that, yeah, this is obviously good stuff. And Amrabat also, this is what the reason I'm even talking about this, I just wanted to say this. I literally just wanted to say this. But Sofyan Amrabat on his hobbies outside of football, he's done an interview, obviously, which has come out today. To tell you the truth, not so much. I remember when I was playing at FC Utrecht, Erik Ten Hag said one time, football is a way of life. And I think that's the truth. Football is life! Gets in there. Danny Rojas just reminds me of Ted Lasso there, guys. What a show. What a show. Smash a 1 in the chat if you like a bit of Ted Lasso. That's a good TV show, guys. That is a banging TV show, isn't it? You don't have to like football to like that show, but if you haven't seen it, you're having a mare. It's a banging show. It's a banging show. Okay, anyway. Football is life. I love that. Sofyan Amrabat feels like football is life. And I do as well. Yeah, exactly. Best bit of the interview when he said that. Get in there, Travis. You think it's Gash Kingsley? It's fucking decent, man. It's decent. Come on. Don't be harsh, mate. Don't be harsh. Football is life. Anyway, right, let's move on from Amrabat. That's the only positive stuff of the day, really, guys. I thought I'd kick off with that because it's positive. United trying to, I don't know, do a little bit of PR dampening here to give us some sort of positive news along with a shovel of shite that is going on at this football club right now. But Manchester United have released a statement. We have released a statement. Oh, no, I'm going to sneeze again, folks. Oh, God. I apologise. And Chewbacca! Oh, fucking hell. Oh, man, I'm ill today, guys. Smash that like button on this video if you're just getting in here, by the way, folks. Smash the subscribe. Look at that. We're only 3 subscribers, just 3 away from the next mini milestone of 74.1k subscribers. Sweet. Make sure you give us a cheeky little like spike if you haven't done so. And subscribe to the channel. Get us there during the show. That would be immense. Anyway, look, this is the statement that Manchester United have issued on their website and in from the communications department at United. And it says this. Manchester United... I'm sorry about this, guys. I'm fucking ill, aren't I? It's horrible listening to me right now. Manchester United acknowledges the allegations made against Antony and notes that the police are conducting inquiries. Pending further investigation, the club will be making no further comments. As a club, we are taking this matter seriously with consideration of the impact of these allegations and subsequent reporting will have on survivors of abuse. Ooh, Manchester United not really giving too much away there, are they? I mean, I kind of do think maybe that it's correct that Antony's not really being suspended or anything right now based on just sheer allegations. You know, there isn't any public evidence or anything that's come out. It is just somebody's word against somebody else's. Antony's released his own statements stating that he is innocent and he will be prepared to defend himself and he has the evidence to defend himself, etc. So I guess, you know, I'm kind of taking it with a bit of a positive angle that they haven't just gone, oh, okay, we're going to suspend this guy, because there is a lot of backlash and there is a lot of pressure coming on Manchester United to maybe do that. Maybe that would be the thing that makes the most sense, I suppose, from a PR standpoint, because, you know, if in doubt, get him out, I suppose, you know, suspend him if there's this allegation hanging over his head. You've seen what Brazil have done. Brazil have obviously, you know, dropped him from their national side at this moment in time. You could argue that maybe that indicates that they've got wind of something going on over there in Brazil, which I don't know, perhaps suggests to them that there is some serious basis for these allegations. But at the same time, we don't actually know what's gone on. I see people on social media already calling for Antony's head, already saying that he's a scumbag, already saying all this type of thing, and you can't really say that right now. We don't actually know what's happened with Antony. I think people are just jumping the gun yet again here. Okay, if there was some sort of audio clip or some video or whatever that came out, like it happened in the Mason Greenwood situation, then fair enough, you can maybe surmise your own opinions. But actually, as of right this moment, we don't have a clue. We don't have a Scooby. Leggy? What's going on with Antony and his ex-girlfriend? We don't know. So it could just be a woman scorned. I'm not suggesting that's the case. Maybe there is some grounds to these allegations. But we don't know. So it's a bit foolish for anybody really to state that Antony's a dirtbag or that Antony should be dropped, actually. I kind of think United have done the right thing by just staying quiet at the moment. Look, when more information comes out, I suppose, it would make sense to then maybe change their stance on it. If it turns out Antony is a dirtbag, then yes, suspend him, look for a new club, whatever the fuck you have to do. And if it turns out that he's innocent, stand by him and publicly state the fact that he's innocent, you know. But right now, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of a contradiction going on here with what's happened with Man United and Mason Greenwood, but that was a different scenario entirely because of the fact there was public evidence in the public domain. But certainly, you know, it's not exactly been dealt with in exactly the same way. I guess they could have suspended him. They could have sacked him off for the time being. Let me ask the live chat, guys. What do you think Man United should have done at this moment in time, based on the fact Antony's come out immediately and defended himself and said that I've got the evidence to prove my innocence, etc., etc. He is being investigated in Brazil. He may well be investigated in Manchester. Get your thoughts and opinions in. Keep or suspend. Sorry, guys, I'm super not well. I think I've literally, you know, when you've got a piece of tissue and then it just turns into a globule of mess and it no longer is a tissue. It's just a moist, damp piece of globule of skank. I'm going to have to go get another tissue, guys, because otherwise I'm just going to be just mashing snot all over my face. Back in a second. Look at all this. A lot of keeps in the live chat, though. A lot of keeps coming in the live chat. Yes, indeed. Ian Millard says keep. It's not hay fever, the special one, mate. I don't have melt fever, bro. That's for melters. I don't have hay fever, lad. Back in a second, guys. Shit the bed. Just stubbed my toe like a motherfucker as well. Bastard. I'm just barefoot, guys. You know when you stub your toe? It's horrible, isn't it? Oh, just stubbed it on a door frame. Right. Okay, I've got a whole roll there, guys. Just in case I've got a whole roll. Right. Bloody hell, it's all going off. Right, what was I going to say? Oh. So this statement's come out from the football club that basically says that they're just going to allow the police and the authorities to conduct their inquiries, and they're not actually going to make any comment more on it at this moment in time. So they're not going to actually say whether or not they're suspending Antony or keeping Antony. Maybe they will make that decision at some point. But as of right now, they are not prepared to do that. Let's have a look at this super chat that's come in here. Thank you very much for getting in here, Raw Lad. I have seen it, Chrissy J, lad. Get in there, my son. The guy looks like a Don, mate. Saying all the right things. Love it, bro. Absolutely love it. How you doing, Chrissy? Kingface says, women with no careers keeps messing up men with careers. Very sad indeed. bit of a blanket statement there from you, my son. You know, bit of a blanket statement, but, you know, I mean, how do you know she doesn't have a career, mate? You know, fair enough. I mean, what's that all about? You what? Thank you very much, Kingface, for getting in here with that super chat, though. But what? The Vootinator, thank you very much for the likes tally. Says we've got nearly 100 likes on the stream, guys. Take a second to drop a thumbs up if you're just joining us. That would be awesome. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Right. Okay. So, look, it's a tough situation for Manchester United to deal with at the moment. There has been sort of warnings coming out from various places and pressure being put on Manchester United. People like Rachel Riley, MBE, coming out and getting in on it as well, like she did with the Mason Greenwood situation. And this is what she sort of posted. She posted an article from Goal in regards to Women's Aid and other domestic abuse charities putting pressure on Manchester United, essentially. And she said that Man United sent a warning over Antony's first-team role as Women's Aid outlines consequences of domestic violence allegations not being taken seriously. So, okay, fair enough. Obviously, I understand it. If there's a possibility that this guy is a domestic abuser, it does have to be taken seriously. But it's also, you also have to look at it from both ways, peeps. And I guess think about Antony's own mental health and well-being also, if this isn't true. Because to say that nobody's ever made up an allegation in history, it's just bullshit. Obviously, people can do that. People are capable of making up such lies. We're not saying that this person or this alleged victim has lied, but to say that they definitely haven't, we don't know at this moment in time, do we? We've got to wait for more evidence and more investigations to take place from all of the authorities. So it would actually think about what this could do to Antony's mental health, especially if it's not true. Look, if it is true, that's his problem. If he's a dirtbag and he's assaulted his ex-girlfriend, then he's obviously a dirtbag, right? But you know, to just tar him with that brush that he is an abuser when he may well be completely innocent, I think is a bit wrong, to be honest. Gungshi says you can take allegations seriously without believing them without proof. You can take allegations seriously without believing them without proof. That's a bit of a double entendre, or a, what's the word? I don't know. You can take allegations. I don't know what that means, Gungshi, exactly. I'm trying to work it out in my brain. Hey, Paul, thank you very much for that, bro. He says, allegations against teachers, doctors, other professionals suspended with pay pending investigation to defend reputation of the institution. Well, fair enough, Paul. That's interesting as well. That's it. I mean, sometimes, I suppose that does make the most sense. If there is a possibility that this person has committed a heinous crime, then to protect the institution, like you say, maybe the best thing is just to temporarily suspend them. But look, I don't think we can really say that that's at this stage right now. Maybe once these investigations from the Brazilian authorities have taken a further turn, i.e. they've decided to progress or pursue the possibility of prosecuting Antony. Once that happens, fair enough. But at this moment, we don't know that he has actually done anything wrong. His statement suggests that he hasn't. His statement suggests that there was verbal issues on both sides. So they had a bit of verbal. But other than that, he's never done what he's accused of, and he's got the evidence to prove that he hasn't. That's all that he said at this moment in time. That doesn't mean that he hasn't done anything either. But I do think we've got to maybe, at this moment, perhaps give him the benefit of the doubt, because, you know, it could just be a false allegation. But I hear you. In other walks of life, maybe that does happen. If there's instances where somebody's accused of something, maybe it's best to suspend them with pay in order to investigate. What do you think should happen, guys? Should he be suspended? Smash a 1 if you think he should be suspended. I actually say no at this moment. I actually say no until we found out more. Fair enough, if there's further investigations that end up taking place, or it looks like the Brazilian authorities are going to pursue it, then okay, there must be some basis to it. In which case I would suspend him until we found out the actual answer of what's going on. But right now, I think it's jumping the gun just a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Mark N says, same verbal issue. Greenwood said insane shit. Yeah, listen, Greenwood, it came out in the public domain though, bud. That's it. We know that Greenwood's a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? We know he's a dirtbag lad. You know, that's why he's been loaned out to Get Off Me FC, because he's a dirtbag, mate, and it's hard to come back from that sort of PR nightmare. It literally came out in the public. That's the big difference here. Antony nothing's come out in the public at this moment in time. Gungshi says, I meant to say you can take allegations seriously and at the same time not automatically believe that they are true if there is no proof. Well said, Don Gungshi. Absolutely, mate. Yeah, you're spot on. So I think that's kind of what the club are maybe doing. They're hedging their bets a little bit. They've acknowledged that there are allegations made against Antony, and they just note that the police are conducting their inquiries right now. And it says, pending further information, the club will be making no further comments. So right now, they don't feel like there's enough to really go on to say, oh, this guy needs to be suspended, or that we're going to stick by him. They can't actually make that assessment just yet. Just like we can't make that assessment as to whether he is guilty of anything at this moment in time. Yeah, exactly. Well said, Gungshi. Wait until we know more, you legend. Absolutely spot on, spot on. Hey there, Connor. What's going on? PR nightmare in Brazil. Big time it is, Paul. You're right about that. I mean, they've dropped him from the national side. I guess it is a PR nightmare from their point of view too. You're right. I mean, I guess they've done it, haven't they? I mean, they're an institution, a football institution, obviously, the Brazilian national team, and their football federation has taken the action of actually dropping him. So, I mean, I guess it's a little bit, I don't know, soft from Manchester United at this point, but this is maybe the issues in Brazil at the moment. Right now, the Greater Manchester Police have been informed about this, but we haven't heard anything about the Greater Manchester Police actually pursuing with any sort of, arrests or anything like that at this moment in time. So just have to let it play out, I suppose. But it is definitely a PR nightmare. You're right about that, Mr. Paul, lad. 100% right. But look, Rachel Riley said this. Obviously, Man United sent warning over Antony first team role. Let's read this article from Women's Aid. Or, sorry, not from Women's Aid, from goal.com, that suggests that there's domestic abuse charities and lots of different outlets that are condemning Manchester United at this moment in time for basically not suspending Antony and potentially making light of domestic abusers. I don't think anybody should be doing that, obviously. Domestic abuse is a serious thing. It's horrible. Nobody should be the victim of, physical assaults and even emotional abuse and things like that can be very nasty. So, I don't think anybody's making light of that. I think Man United are just simply waiting until they actually know, or they've got a good basis that potentially Antony is that type of person. We'll see. I mean, obviously, Ten Hag's brought him in for £85 million. He's Ten Hag's golden child coming over from Ajax, and maybe he's more inclined to give Antony the benefit of the doubt. I don't know. These people know these people. We can't always judge these people based on knowing them either. But certainly, in this instance, it's a very, very tricky one. But this is what the article says, that Man United have been sent a warning over Antony's first-team role, as Women's Aid outlines consequences of domestic violence allegations not being taken seriously. He was obviously facing allegations. His ex-girlfriend, Gabriela Cavallin, is accusing him of all sorts of atrocities. He's been dropped from the Brazil squad. Man United, of course, have been warned by various different outlets that they need to do something about it. In fact, they've been warned that policies need to be put in place for when domestic abuse allegations are made against footballers. So I guess there should perhaps be a blanket policy, maybe. I guess that's fair. So when you think about it, with what happened with Greenwood, although that is a little bit different, Manchester United did suspend him, like pending further information and allowing the police to do their investigations and that kind of thing. And in this instance with Antony, they have yet to do that. So maybe it would be good just to have like a blanket policy on what to do if and when this happens. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but this probably will happen again at some point in the not too distant future, because Manchester United is turning into some sort of bloody prisoner cell block H vibe. What is going on at this football club, my son? Crikey. Oh my goodness me. It is absolutely mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad what's going on. It's like if we're not careful, it's going to turn into Mean Machine around here, guys. Manchester United have been warned, of course, that we need to perhaps get a policy in place. Greater Manchester Police say that they are looking into allegations that Antony attacked Cavallin in a hotel room and threatened to kill her. That's what they're looking into right now. That there's these allegations that have been bandied around towards Antony. He's already denied the allegations, but he's been dropped by the Brazil national squad. United just commented on the situation, but they haven't really said too much. They just said that they're allowing the investigations to take place. Women's Aid have actually issued a statement now in response to this, warning top clubs of the consequences, basically, of domestic abuse if the action is not taken when allegations arise. So Women's Aid want the action taken even if there's allegations, just because I guess it's maybe paints the picture that Manchester United or whichever institution wouldn't be necessarily taking it that seriously if they don't take immediate action when there's an allegation bandied around. So this is their quote. This is what it says from Women's Aid. It says, domestic abuse is prevalent in our society, and all employers, including football clubs, need clear policies and procedures about what to do when allegations are made against an employer. When the alleged perpetrator is a high-profile footballer, we know from survivors of domestic abuse that has an impact on both football fans and wider society, who see them playing and celebrated on the pitch as a sign that the allegations are not being taken seriously by the club. Safeguarding is vital in these cases to ensure the safety of everyone involved while proceedings are ongoing. I guess you can't really... This is a very difficult situation, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, look, obviously, if there's the possibility that he's actually guilty of this, and that has been the case, then I suppose suspending him is maybe the right thing to do. But isn't it jumping the gun a little bit? Man, this is such a difficult topic. I guess United do. What's right about this whole statement, though, is that United do need to work out some sort of policy for how to react and how to treat these instances when they do occur. Suspension may be the best way because I guess it protects the institution at this moment in time until we know more. But obviously, it doesn't protect the player. See, my concern is that it goes both ways, and that what if he's completely innocent of this and he's being suspended? He's essentially being dragged through the mud in the media, and he's having his daily work taken away from him, something that can help him mentally as well. Obviously, footballers want to be playing football. And then if he's not allowed to do that because this is hanging over his head, and he is innocent, and that you have to say that's a possibility until we know more, then what could that do to the player? That's horrible. So, okay, fair enough. So this way, I guess, if you're suspending the player and if you are, putting something in place to deal with this matter, then I suppose it sends the right message to people in wider society. But it doesn't really benefit the man who may not actually have done anything wrong. I don't know. It's very difficult, guys. This is a very grey area topic. I'm actually disgusted to have to be talking about this so close to the Mason Greenwood situation. And actually, if you look at the Mason Greenwood situation, don't know if you see, but there's obviously he's taking pictures with fans. They're all absolutely buzzing their tits off having him there. He's taking pictures with kids and all sorts. He's being looked up to as this mighty role model. It seems like everybody's just loving him over there at Get Off Me FC. But the reality is that, if anybody's a dirtbag, it's him. And, he's being sort of celebrated at this moment in time. We've got to wait for more information on Antony. That's what I would like to say. Interesting. Thank you very much for getting in here. Well, let's see what the live chat thinks. I will get a little poll on the go. Thank you very much for getting in here, Tad Bakes Land, with your super chat, mate. Come on. Let's get some love in the live chat there for Taddy Bakes. Thank you, Tad Bakes. That's very kind of you. He says Greenwood was suspended. Antony needs suspending. Fair play to you, my son. And where's that? Why won't it pop up on my screen? Oh, there it is. Greenwood was suspended. Antony needs suspending. I'll get a little poll on the go. Let's have a vote. I say not yet until there's more information that's come out. Should Antony be suspended? I'll just get this poll on the go. The difference with Greenwood, though, I keep reiterating, but it's true. This isn't the same as the Greenwood situation, boss. Greenwood situation, there was allegations made by his ex, basically, on his current girlfriend right now, actually, on social media. There was a picture, there was audio, and the audio clip alone is very damning. And so, come on, I mean, if you kind of think about that, the audio clip being very damning, that's what did the damage. Berber said yesterday, and I completely agree, if that audio clip didn't surface and was not in the public domain, Greenwood would probably still be a Manchester United player right now. Yeah, he still may have faced investigation, but if that information, if that evidence never made the light in public, then there wouldn't be that tarnished reputation of Greenwood. The seriousness with that case is that did happen. We did hear that audio, and so therefore it was very damning, and his reputation was harmed. And maybe rightfully so, obviously. But in regards to this situation, we haven't got the evidence in front of us, so it is different. I don't know if he needs suspending personally just yet. Fair enough, if it turns out the Brazilian authorities are going to pursue this case against Antony, then I guess that's the time to suspend him. Even if we find out that there's no real, basis for it, if they're actually pursuing it, if they're actually progressing with a case against Antony, then that's enough to suspend him. I don't know, Andrew Giggs. It's tough, isn't it? You think about what's going on, man. It's all a very bad look for United at this moment in time. We've got player revolt issues. We've got the Glazer shithouse owners. We've got all of these domestic abuse allegations against our players. It's very, very disappointing, lad, I have to say. I don't know, bud, to be honest, to answer your question. Who the hell knows? I mean, these players aren't doing themselves favours, I don't think. Let's be honest, these players aren't doing the club or themselves favours at this moment in time. But look, obviously with Greenwood's situation, we confirmed Greenwood would be leaving the club following the conclusion of a 6-month internal investigation after charges of sexual assault and domestic violence against the striker were dropped. But the club, reportedly had wanted to sort of reintegrate him into the squad before making a U-turn because of all the issues that presented itself with fans coming out, including one Rachel Riley down here, So he's since completed a loan move to Qatar, and that's where he is right now. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen with Antony. Thank you, Stephanie Griffith. We've got 122 likes. Thank you, everyone. By the way, guys, we just hit 74,100 subscribers. Get in there, my son. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all for hitting that subscribe. If you're new to the channel, drop the sub up. Get your likes in there and all that jazz. Ray Carl. What's going on, Ray Carl Brown Armory? Welcome in, bro. How are you doing? He says Antony should not be suspended until police say otherwise. Fair play. I'm kind of with you, bud. I actually do agree with you. I think once they've pursued this, then okay, he should be suspended. But right now, it's just allegations. So we have to wait and see. I think I'm going to move on, guys, because it is a horrible topic here. Maybe I'll get into the live chat for 2 minutes, see what you legends are saying about this matter. But I don't want to dwell on it too much. I know that is the big story of the day. It's a horrible topic. I'm not enjoying talking about it, to be honest with you. Manchester United is a football club. This is like some soap opera shit on the go right now. This is horrible, isn't it? This is just another day at the club, unfortunately. Statement FC. They should call us Statement United, because every few days we have to release a statement about some negative shite that's taken place at the football club. It is absolutely horrendous. So we will be moving on in a moment, but thank you very much indeed, Ray Carl Brown Amory. I tend to agree with you at this moment in time. Super chat. Kingface says, is she wife material? Never seen her before. Kingface, I'm starting to learn something about you, mate. You chat COD in the chat, mate. What do you mean, is she wife material? Never seen her before. What the fuck does that matter, bud? You know what I mean? What are you talking about? Well, oh my God. Anyway. Thank you very much, Laura Longman, for getting in this. Don't like hearing this with my PTSD, Joe, but hey, fair enough, Laura Longman. I get it. It's probably very difficult to hear, and especially with PTSD and things like that. So I understand that there is a duty of care to the public from the football club as well, to maybe, make it seem like obviously they're doing something to protect potential victims. You know what I'm saying? And to give that message and that they don't tolerate this sort of behaviour. But at the same time, we do have to wait, I think, for a bit more information. Thank you for getting in though and having your say. Right, guys, I'm going to move on to this. Actually, let's get in the chat for a second. How can the man be back with his partner at his own club who's desperate for quality, gets rid of him, jobs? Well, because of that PR shitstorm that the audio was all about. Like we said, if that audio never came out, he'd probably still be playing for Manchester United right now, pal. The Brazilian FA have acted. Surely they know more than us, except Mark N, of course. Don't know, Chris Barker. Don't know. I mean, look, they've obviously tried to sort of protect their institution by doing so. But who knows? How could they know more than what Manchester United know, really? Okay, they are in Brazil. I suppose they could be in closer contact with the Brazilian authorities. But surely, if Manchester United wanted to get the information, they can get the information. Just as much as the Brazil national side. I'm not so sure. Maybe that's not the case. But yeah, it's interesting that they have dropped him and Manchester United haven't as of right now. United says, imagine someone made an accusation against you, Pig, and you have to leave YouTube just because that is an accusation without proof. Precisely. I don't think it should be the case. I completely agree with you, United. 100% agree with you. You shouldn't have to leave until you've been cleared if you are indeed innocent or could be innocent. Fair enough, if it's like damning, like Greenwood situation, that's different when there's audio in the public domain. But with this situation, it's like he could well be 100% innocent. He also may well be 100% guilty, but we don't know right now. So you're absolutely right, bud. I don't think you should be able to do that and have somebody, you know, leave their job. It would be horrible. It would be horrible if that happened. You're absolutely right. Okay, anyway, let's move on, guys, because this is a horrendous topic. Let's get on to Jadon Sancho. Let's get on to Jadon Sancho because there's some more information about Sancho. So, by the way, Jadon Sancho has doubled down on his situation where he posted that that post basically insinuating that Erik ten Hag is a liar. He's doubled down on it, right, by pinning his statement to his pages, right? Which I find actually pretty crazy that he's done that. I do think that's mental. So he's actually pinned, look at this. He's pinned his statement that he made earlier on. So not only is he sticking by it, but he wants it in your face to show you this is how he truly feels. So after having a few days to stew on it, he has literally pinned it to his social medias, guys. Look at that. So that is pretty clear what his stance is. He's stuck to his guns there. He's really not happy with Ten Hag. He's still sticking behind his, his statement that he has accused Erik ten Hag of not treating him fairly and scapegoating him, etc. Obviously, this is what the statement read a few days ago, that he said, please don't believe everything you read. I will not allow people saying things that is completely untrue. I have conducted myself in training very well this week. I believe there are other reasons for this matter that I won't go into, which I think is basically the fact that he feels like Antony is Ten Hag's golden child and he's getting in there ahead of Sancho, even though it's not justified based on performances. He said, I've been a scapegoat for a long time, which isn't fair. All I want to do is play football with a smile on my face and contribute to my team. I respect all decisions that are made by the coaching staff. I play with fantastic players and grateful to do so, which I know every week is a challenge. I will continue to fight for this badge no matter what. Well, not really. You're not prepared to fight for the badge if you're coming out here undermining the manager publicly. And obviously he has stuck by his guns on this matter by putting this at the top of his pages. So he has pinned it, which is pretty clear that his stance hasn't changed. He's not prepared to back down on this, it seems, which means that it fundamentally makes the issue between him and Ten Hag very difficult to move on from. Ten Hag's going to have to face this head on, really, sooner or later. I'm sure he will be asked about this after the international break before the next game, and he may have to comment on the situation. We'll see. I mean, he's obviously had his say publicly about Sancho, but he's the manager, he's the numero uno. He's allowed to do that. It's not okay for a player to come out and undermine the manager's authority by doing what he's done. So this is also something that's come out. ESPN are reporting this, and obviously you have to take this statement with a pinch of salt, but ESPN is suggesting that maybe some of his teammates at United are not too happy with Jadon Sancho, not just for this, but maybe the sort of way that he goes about his professionalism at the club. So this is a report from ESPN that says that Jadon Sancho has alienated part of the Manchester United squad. Some players are not happy with some of Sancho's habits in training. So maybe he's a bit of a lazy bastard. Who really knows? This is what's being bandied around. Ten Hag hasn't played him for whatever reason. He thinks maybe the fact that he's not trained that well. He doesn't think he's playing that well. He's not being 100% professional, giving it his all and giving 100% maximum effort levels. And other players are. So he's giving these players the opportunities ahead of Sancho. Maybe that's the reason. And this would suggest maybe that's the case if this is true. This article from ESPN that says that some players may not be happy with the way that he trains. Maybe he's a bit of a lazy bastard. So I don't know. I agree with what Travis has said here. Completely agree with you. People can criticise Ten Hag all they want, but I agree with you, Travis. He says he was probably trying to help Sancho improve. Precisely. Probably trying to help him improve. Give him a kick up the arse publicly. Say that he needs to do better. And hopefully get that reaction from him. Get a reaction from him that, oh shit, this guy's calling me out publicly. What a dirtbag. I better knuckle down and prove these bastards wrong. That I'm actually an absolute baller. Work my socks off. Force my way in the team. Keep my place in the team with great performances. And, he could certainly do that. So I think that's what I think that's what is the thinking from Erik ten Hag. I don't think he's just chucking this guy under the bus or making a scapegoat out of him. I think he said this to try and get a reaction from Jadon Sancho, a positive reaction. And instead, he's got a negative reaction. He's got Sancho turtling up and protecting himself and coming out publicly stating that Ten Hag is basically a liar. Mikhail Kramer, thanks for your comments. Says Sancho shouldn't be moaning about anyone else's performance but his own. Spot on. The guy's been bang average for so long now. And if he was putting in these stunning performances week to week, there would be an outcry from the fan base to say, hey, look, give him his chances. What are you doing, Erik ten Hag, playing Antony, the one-footed ballerina, over Jadon Sancho, when Jadon Sancho's going out there and smashing in the goals and playing really great and giving it his full-blooded performance every single week? No, that's not the case. He's going out there looking lazy, barely performing, and hardly doing the business at all. Couple that with bad training, you can understand why he's not getting selected. So I actually do agree with what you said there, 100%. He could easily perform to a better standard. He's not playing well, and that is justification enough to not select him. Tad Bakes, thank you very much for your super chat here. He says Sancho has exposed himself as a weak, soft, feeble individual. Erik ten Hag has clearly tried to help Sancho, and he isn't receptive. We need winners, not babies. Well said, Tad Bakes, well said. This is nothing new, actually. In 2019, a similar thing happened at Dortmund, where he felt like he was being scapegoated over there as well. I mean, I wonder if Ten Hag and Sancho can rekindle this relationship. Smash a 1 in the chat if you think Sancho will play for Man United again soon, especially with what's going on with Antony. Smash a 1 if you think he will play for us soon. Smash a different number in the chat if you think, now this is curtains for him at United and this is not going to be something that he can come back from. Let us know. I think he'll probably be going. I do think he'll be going, to be honest. United, thank you very much for the £5 super chat as well. Says this isn't the first club he's claimed to be scapegoated by. He is the boy that cried wolf. Absolute melt. Get rid of him. Erik ten Hag has looked after him. Well said, United. Yes, as I just mentioned, it happened before at Dortmund, didn't it? And look, think about why he's not getting selected for England. He was in the England setup for a good while. Definitely in this setup for a long time for England when he was doing bits over in Germany. And he was playing well for England as well. But he's come over to United. He's got his big money move. If anything, being at United and playing in the Premier League should help him with his England selection. But he hasn't performed well over the last 2 years. He's been crap. His mentality's not been there, which does mean that he's fallen out of favour with Gareth Southgate in the England setup. So it's not just Ten Hag that's fallen out of favour with selecting him. It's also our national team manager. And that tells you quite a lot, I think. I mean, I don't really rate Southgate, but even so, you can justify selecting Saka over Sancho. Of course you can. Sancho is playing shite over the last couple of years. Saka's actually been balling, you know, you've got to say. And Rashford's had a great time of it, and other players are still getting in there, but Sancho, not so much, because he's not played well. It's as simple as that, really. You get out of life what you put in, I think. Yeah, Astro says the last 2 super chats are spot on. I completely agree with you, bud. It's like a circus at United, says OG. They may as well change the GGMU theme song on match days to clown music. It is a bit like that right now, sadly. I believe the statement of Sancho is poor. He has been poor. Keep his mouth shut and fight for his place instead of saying all that nonsense publicly. Well said there, Fat Chinese Gaming. What a man you are. Precisely, you're right, Bud. Get your head down, mate. You know, come on, you're in a very privileged position. You're being paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week to be a Manchester United player. Be professional. Keep your fucking head down. Get on with your job, mate. There's people who have to eat way more shit than what you're eating on a daily basis, working at their job in an office or a fucking warehouse or wherever from their fucking higher-ups. And their higher-ups are publicly shaming them in front of fucking their staff, and they're taking loads of abuse or whatever the case may be. They're eating a shit sandwich for breakfast every single fucking day, working in their jobs, and you're a privileged footballer, prima donna, massive ego guy. You know, there's an old saying, life's a shit sandwich. The more bread you have with it, the better it tastes, and you're getting paid a shitload of fucking bread every single week. Shut your mouth, keep your fucking, self in line, work hard, get yourself back in the team, prove everyone that you're fucking not a complete melter, and do your job, as Roy Keane would say. Do your job. You know, that's honestly how I feel, man. That's honestly how I feel. Crikey, what job don't you get fucking backlash from the manager? All the managers I've ever had in my fucking life, basically at work, in my working career, I fucking hated, guys. They're always fucking knobs. You know what I mean? They're always fucking knobs, mate. And if you've got a manager who's not a knob, you're very lucky. Whatever job I've done, I've always had a knobby manager. That's the way life is. So, crikey, don't be such a prat. Keep yourself in line. Do your job. That's what I would say to Jadon Sancho. He's paid a lot of money here to do his job for Manchester United. He's actually not been doing his job very well at all. Now he's moaning about it. Exactly. Oh, thank you, Brian Foskett and everybody. Precisely. Well, it does, but it tastes better with a lot of bread there, man. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it might still taste like shit. Shit sandwich is going to taste like shit. I'll tell you what, if you have a whole loaf with it, and I'm not talking about a loaf of shit, I'm talking about a whole loaf of bread, it's going to taste more bready, lad. That's just the way it is, bud. Oh, thank you, Tim. I was up 23. I appreciate you. It had to be said. It had to be said, lad. Tad Bakes, cheers for that, bro. I do appreciate you getting in with another super chat. He says, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a prime example of what Sancho should do. Preach, lad. So true. Wan-Bissaka, fallen by the wayside. Dalot favoured over him. Getting selected by Ten Hag when he first came in here. Barely selected by Rangnick as well before. He comes back, he works hard, he gets his head down, he works his socks off. Now he's on the cusp of signing a new contract at Manchester United, and rightfully so. Because over the last year, he's been the most consistent, one of the most consistent players for Manchester United. He keeps his head down, he works hard, he puts in maximum effort during every single game and probably every single training session now in the land. So you're absolutely right, Tad Bakes. He's a shining example of how you come back from being out of favour in a team. He's the shining example, lad. And now everybody loves Wan-Bissaka. They want Wan-Bissaka because he's a hard worker and he's a quality player and he's deserving of his place in the team. And he's not moaning publicly about not getting selected in the past and having Diogo Dalot selected over him for a few months at the start of last season. He's not moaning. He's getting on with it. David says, I quite like my boss, to be honest. Well, that's cool, man. You know, I've had a couple of okay bosses, but most of them are knobs. Raheem, thank you, Raheem Moncrief, for getting in here with a super chat as well. He says, it's clear that Sancho was not on it since the fans were calling for Pellistri to get a chance over Antony before him. Well said, bro, as well. Spot on, smack a one in the live chat if you think Pellistri needs to be given a chance. Ahead of the likes of Jadon Sancho. Smash a one. I couldn't agree more with you. Pellistri's way more deserving. If you look at his performances in pre-season, Pellistri actually looked like a fireballer out there. Sancho looked pretty hit or miss throughout pre-season. Yeah, he had one good game against Arsenal and scored a nice goal. Yeah, whatever. It was pre-season. Pellistri actually looked consistently good throughout pre-season. He was played on the left side as well, and he was looking really good either side of the pitch. So I have to say, I think Pellistri is more deserving right now of a little run in the side. Maybe Antony should be dropped based on his performances. I don't think Antony's been playing amazing at all. But something you could say about Antony when he's on the pitch, he works hard, he gets stuck in, he tracks back, he defends, he gets himself performing to a level which is the least you can say is somebody that's trying. He's trying out there for Manchester United, where you can't really say the same about Sancho. When he comes on, he looks lackadaisical, looks a little bit lazy sometimes, doesn't affect the game that much. You know, that's the reality, whereas Antony, at least he gets stuck in. I'm not saying that's enough. You should be putting in good performances as well, which is why Pellistri should maybe be given a chance there anyway. But certainly Antony's effort levels cannot be disputed. I see him out there on the pitch fighting, running up and down that right side like a lunatic. Whereas Sancho, I'm not so convinced that he even works that hard when he's on the pitch, let alone in training, which we don't really have the information on. Thank you, Raheem. I agree with you, bro. Thank you for getting in here, raw lad. Indeed. So, look, Sancho just needs to man up a little bit here. Perhaps he will be on his way out of Manchester United sooner rather than later, because I want to talk about this. This is obviously very speculative stuff right now. Very speculative stuff. Hey, thank you so much, King Faces. What is a prima donna? So it's just like somebody who, you know, is like just a diva. It's like a diva, mate. You know, like a diva lad. Somebody that's got a bit of ego. Somebody that expects the very best. Somebody that, you know, thinks they're the number one, thinks they're the prime motherfucker, basically. That they're the one, you know? That's what it thinks, mate. It's basically a Billy Big Bollocks, man. That's what it means. Drama queen, diva, Billy Big Bollocks. That's pretty what it means, mate. Pretty much what it means. Okay, let's talk about this, because Sancho, he may well be going somewhere else, I suppose, sooner rather than later. Let's hope so soon. Let's hope so soon, because, yeah, obviously, he's fallen out of favour with Ten Hag, clearly. He's come out, he's pinned this to the top of his bloody social media, stubbling down on what he said about Ten Hag here, and insinuating that he's false. And he's attracting interest from different clubs around the world, apparently. So Saudi Arabia's window is still open right now. Look, I don't know if Jadon Sancho is going to be up for going to play in Saudi, but a lot of players have done, even young players who are in the primes of their careers. A lot of players have gone over there for the money. Perhaps he could be tempted to go over there and play if there's a good offer on the table for him financially. I think probably Jadon Sancho, just calling it now, is probably the type of person that would go and play for the money. Don't know, but Sancho attracting Saudi interest. This is what's being reported in various different places. And apparently there is even an offer that's been made to Manchester United already. I mean, look, again, pinch of salt's needed with this report, but various outlets saying that Saudi side have made an official bid for Jadon Sancho. Would you keep him or sell him? Let's say somebody makes an offer of, I don't know, 40 million quid for him. Would you keep him or sell him, guys? Let us know your thoughts. I'd sell the twat. In fact, it would be the best thing ever to get rid of Jadon Sancho. Well, not the best thing ever, but, you know, let's be fair. This guy has been here for 2 years. That's long enough for me to know if somebody's going to be a flop or if somebody can make it and they can show themselves and show their mentality and show their abilities. 2 years is a long time in football. 2 seasons at the club, getting chance after chance after chance this guy's had. Now, that's enough for me. 1 season, 1 dodgy season, 1 dodgy first season in the Premier League where you've got to find your feet and get used to the footballing culture, etc. I could maybe give the benefit of the doubt on, such as Antony had a bit of a hit or miss season last season, but he's only been here for 1 year. Give him a chance for another season, see how he does. But Sancho's been here for 2 years now, and I've never really seen too much from the guy. Keep says Vincent. Sell says Alan and Mikayu and Gungshi and Kingslayer and Michelle. Sell says Vooty and FCG and Lord PlayStation. Sell. Tommy Boyle. Sell. Buy. Sell. Sadly says Daddy. Get rid. Sell. I think that tells you where the fan base is at, really, guys. We don't need to have a poll on that one, do we? Because it seems like almost 100% of people in this live chat want to see him go. Because he's not the right mentality player for United. He's clearly creating rifts within the squad now as well and undermining the manager. And you can't have that. Everybody needs to be put in the same direction. And he's obviously somebody that's not prepared to do that, which is a very big concern. Very big concern. It does not set a good precedent for the club and player power and all that sort of stuff. So I think United have to take a firm stance on Jadon Sancho. Bench him and sell him. And until he's sold, don't let him play. That's honestly how I feel about him. He's gone too far with this one. Exactly. He's got an attitude problem, Robin Hood. He is a prima donna. He is an ego. He does think that everything's about him, it seems, and he's not prepared to fight for his place in the side. Get your head down and work hard and prove us wrong. But I don't think he wants to do that. I think he's more happy to just, you know, have a cry about it, to just chuck his toys out the pram and hope that, I don't know, maybe he can affect the manager's decisions based on that. But crikey, I mean, who does he think he is? A player of United to have that sort of level of power over it. It's quite outrageous. But anyway, so Saudi club could have offered him a contract or could have made an offer to Manchester United at least. And if they're prepared to offer him a big contract, maybe Jadon Sancho would go to Saudi. Now, it's not the place that you really want to go, I don't think, as a 24-year-old young player in your prime trying to get in the England setup, etc. It's not the most ideal place to go and play your football because it is a bit of a gash league. I mean, it's getting better. Of course, they're getting so many talents over there. They've got so much money. The Saudi league in 5 years, if it goes this way, will probably be one of the top leagues in terms of talent because they're acquiring a lot of great players. Sancho would just be another one to add to that list. But come on, you can't argue that it's not exactly... You know, it's not the prime league at the moment. The Premier League, the name Premier is the clue. You know, it is the prime league in world football. And so, you know, maybe he would rather stay in the Premier League. But the Premier League transfer window is shut. And if Ten Hag has that conversation with Sancho and says, hey, look, Jadon, lad, you have gone too far. You are bench, lads. Have fun hanging out with the fucking reserves, bro. You're on spit bucket duty. You know, then maybe Jadon Sancho would be prepared to go to Saudi on a short-term deal or even just a couple-of-year deal, maybe. It's possible, I suppose. And I think that the Saudi Arabian League, whichever team is interested in him, would be interested in Jadon Sancho because he is a good player for that standard of league, definitely. And if they can get him for the right price, then perhaps it would make sense for a Saudi team to take him on. We'll just ask the chat, how much do you think he's worth? How much do you think he's worth, guys? Tommy says, typical narcissistic millennial, bet he takes more than 3 selfies a day, every day. That's fucking funny, man. Emperor says, times are changing. Premier League might get knocked off the top spot in the near future. I don't know. I think it will take a long time, Emperor Jerome. It can happen. It's a transitional thing, isn't it? I don't think it will happen overnight. It'll probably be a very long time. But look, if the Saudi League continues to acquire talents like it is and spend that level of investment every single transfer window, then yeah, it's not going to be long until they're one of the prime leagues in the world. It's true. 50 million, says Orlando Arellano. 40 mil, says Stephanie. Billy, thanks for being a member nearly 3 years, you legend. Come on. He says, hashtag Glazers out and take Sancho with them. Viva la pig. Dude, Billy, you're a legend, man. Thank you so much for being here for so long. Nearly 3 years this guy's been a legend. Let's get a hashtag 35 in the live chat. Thank you so much, Mr. Billy, lad. That's very, very kind of you, dude. I do appreciate you. Seriously. Thank you so much. Yeah, I agree. Sancho, see you later on. Glazers out. Pissed off. Just on the Glazer shithouses very quickly, actually. We're obviously still talking about Sancho. There's more to talk about. But let's just look at this report that's come out from the BBC. Man United have spent a record 1.19 billion more on transfers over the past decade than they have recouped through player sales, according to a new study. That is shocking, isn't it? Over the last decade, we spent over $1 billion. There's clubs out there like Liverpool who have a net spend of basically hardly anything, couple $100 million, because they can actually sell players, they generate cash, they do a good job of, you know, of their wage structure and not being too crazy and not pricing players out of moves because of that. United, on the other hand, under the Glazers' tenureship, has been fucking shambolic when it comes to running this football club. We've paid players way too much money. Jadon Sancho's another prime example of that. Makes it difficult to sell them. We'd have probably sold him in the summer if he was on reasonable wages, but instead he's on crazy wages, which means that his value is so low compared to what we paid for him. It would be a slight on Manchester United to let him go for peanuts, and it increases the chances that these clubs out there don't want to take him on because of the amount of money they'd have to pay him. We've done that with so many different players over the years. We've bought players for 85 million like Paul Pogba and let him go for nothing. We've signed players like Alexis Sanchez and paid them £500,000 a week and brought our whole wage structure into disrepute. We have been the masters of our own destiny in this sense. Oh, yeah, people will say, oh, we spent money and the Glazers have spent money on players and all this. That's all they've spent money on. They haven't spent money anywhere else in the football club. They've spent money on players, but they haven't run the club well. They haven't signed the right types of players for the right amount of money on the right wages. Look at this. Is shocking, guys. This is fucking shocking. And they haven't been able to recoup money because we can't sell players properly. People like Harry Maguire rather sit around on 200 grand a week taking their wage rather than go and play elsewhere because they're just on such a cushy number at Manchester United that, you know, it's hard to want them to leave elsewhere. Phil Jones giving him new contracts, sitting around being the T-boy for 3 years on 100 grand a week. The fuck's the matter with us? Just for these players to leave on a free at some point. Shocking, isn't it? Look at this report. Absolute debacles. Hashtag Glazers out. What a shocking run football club. It's sickening, man. Oh, Avram Glazer's getting in here. Piss off, lad. Says Piguire still rattled from when Arsenal slapped us, says Avram Glazer. Do you know what? You can shut up your tits off there, Avram Glazer, lad. What are you talking about? It's got nothing to do with the Arsenal game. That was an absolute debacle, but it's more the Glazer shithouses and the PR nightmare that's currently happening at this football club that is more the problem, lad. That's more the problem. But, I mean, I am still rattled about that as well. That's got nothing to do with this, bro. You're just a knob. You must be a knob because your name's Avram Glazer, lad. So there you go. You're basically just a definite knob. Right, yeah, so hashtag Glazers out. It does seem like perhaps there is still negotiation taking place. One thing we have to say is that there hasn't been an announcement from any of the interested parties in buying Manchester United that the deal is over. So we've heard speculation that the deal could be over if the Glazers have decided to stay and maybe they'll look to sell it in a couple of years instead. But we haven't actually heard anybody come out and say, oh no, that we've tried to buy the club and the deal is dead. No, Sheikh Jassim's not said that. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's not said that. So it's understood that negotiations are still taking place. Let's just hope that the Glazers shithouses do one. Yes, indeed, McKay, get some hashtag Glazers outs in there, folks. It's a disgrace and a nonsense. Very, 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 very disappointed at the moment with this football club, guys. It's a fucking shambles. Stuff like this is just an absolute joke and tells you how badly run the football club is. Right, okay, so maybe let's just get back on to Sancho. I just segued into that because it just shows you how poorly the club's run by giving players too much money and paying them way too much in wages, so it's hard to sell these players and hard to convince them to go. There's every possibility that we've got Jadon Sancho contracted to the club for another couple of seasons, and we can't even sell the twat because he's on such a cushy number at Manchester United, he's not prepared to go elsewhere and get paid less money. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same with Maguire and people like this. So Sancho might be here longer than we want him to be here. It depends on him. The player power is massive nowadays. He's got this cushy contract at United, which is ironclad. It's not a pay-as-you-go contract. It's not a pay-as-you-perform contract. He's getting that money regardless of if he performs or not, regardless of if he plays or not. So the power is all with Jadon Sancho here. It's on him with what he wants. There might be an interested offer or an interested club with an offer coming in from Saudi Arabia. There might be another club that's interested in him in January in the European leagues. That's possible too. But it doesn't mean that he's going anywhere because he's on fat cash at United. And will there be another club crazy enough to pay bang average Jadon Sancho that sort of money that we're paying him? Probably not. Probably not, guys. That's the reality. So it's a sad, sad situation yet again with another player who potentially wants away, but only wants away if the lifestyle's right, only wants away if the glamour of the football club's right that he'd be going to, only wants away if the money's right. It's another player like that, unfortunately. So, look, I don't know if we could sell Jadon Sancho right now. I want to sell him because I think United could do better with the money that he gets paid every single week, which is an extortionate amount. And I feel like we could generate a little bit of cash by selling him and get somebody that's undermining the manager out of the football club. So I would sell him all day long, but actually being able to sell him is another question because of his player power that he's got, unfortunately. Oh, it's so gash, isn't it? What a melt. By the way, 300 legends in the live chat today. Welcome aboard the Bacon Express, everyone. Choo choo! Climb aboard the Bacon Express right the way through to Disappointmentsville. We're going to be on here for a little while longer. We've smashed 74.1k subscribers. I will say, if you're new to the channel right now, everyone, make sure you subscribe. That way you can get involved in the live chat and have your say. And you can also keep up to date with what's going on at this football club. We cover the latest United news in a no bullshit way. Drop the thumbs ups, drop the subscribe if you're new, click the bell icon like your name was Quasimodo. Esmeralda, the bells! That way you'll keep up to date with what's happening. Also, give us a retweet. The link's pinned at the top. I will shout everyone out before we get into the live chat for a Q&A in a minute's time to say thank you to everyone who shares the show. Let me just do a quick rundown of what we've discussed in this vid then, guys. It's frustrating, isn't it? Then we'll get into the live chat and have a Q&A about Sancho, about Antony, about the Glazers, whatever else you want to discuss, Ten Hag. We'll get into all of that in a couple of moments' time. But let me just do a rundown for anybody that's just getting in the stream and missed the start of the show. So, Man United released a statement on Antony and this whole situation going on with these alleged domestic abuse crimes that have been bandied his way. Man United's statement reads, Manchester United acknowledges the allegations made against Antony and notes that the police are conducting inquiries. Pending further information, the club will be making no further comments. As a club, we are taking this matter seriously with consideration of the impact of these allegations and subsequent reporting will have on survivors of abuse. So, Man United keeping their cards close to their chest at the moment, perhaps waiting for further information as to whether or not to suspend Antony pending these investigations taking place over in Brazil. So we haven't done that yet. That is not the case. He's not suspended yet. He may well be if more information comes out from Brazilian authorities or Manchester police. If that comes out and there's more information that United are privy to, perhaps they will make that decision to suspend him. But right now they've just said that they've acknowledged that there's allegations made against their player Antony and notes that the police are conducting inquiries, but pending further information, the club will be making no further comments. So they have not suspended him yet. They also haven't stuck by him yet, but they certainly are, not jumping the gun on this one. So you can argue that perhaps with what's happened with Greenwood and various different domestic abuse cases and also domestic abuse charities coming out and having their say that maybe they should have suspended him just in case he is a domestic abuser. But right now, I think that perhaps the club is making the right decision because what if he's not? We don't actually have the information yet. Let's find out, wait for more information. If it turns out that the Brazilian authorities are pursuing this case properly, I know he's been dropped by the Brazilian FA, but if it turns out the Brazilian authorities are pursuing this case properly, then I guess Man United would have to suspend him as well. I'm going to end the poll here. We've got a poll on the go, and the question was simply, should Antony be suspended? 39% of the live chat says yes, he should be suspended, and 61% say no. I have to admit, I am just about in the no camp myself. I understand that this could have ramifications to the fan base to suggest that Man United is not taking it seriously, and that's not good, is it? Nobody wants that. We want to be seen taking this sort of thing seriously to protect the institution that is Manchester United. But at the same time, what about the guy? If he is innocent, dragging him through the mud and tarnishing his reputation and stopping him with his livelihood at this moment in time, maybe that's not the way either. So I think perhaps United on this occasion is actually right to do what they're doing and just wait for more info. Wait for more info, then make an assessment based on the information that's there. Right now, it's a little bit It's a little bit too fresh to decide, I think. But you could argue that he should be suspended. You could argue that he shouldn't. Hey, it's Stu. What's going on, mate? How are you been, lad? Welcome back aboard the Bacon Express. Choo-choo. Legend, long-time legend Stu. What's happening there, Stu? I hope you're keeping well, bud. Come on, let's get some love in there for Stu, who's re-upped his membership there to the Bacon Brigade. Yes, lad. Welcome aboard. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and becoming a member once again there, Stu. Appreciate you, dude. How are you keeping there, Mr. Stu, lad? I hope everything's good. Thanks so much for that, guys. Get your favourite emoji to welcome in Mr. Stu there. Very kind of you, dude. Very kind of you. So people like Rachel Riley have been sharing information from domestic abuse charities, basically. So Women's Aid have come out and basically sort of condemned Manchester United, I suppose, for not dealing with Antony here, or at least put pressure on Manchester United to deal with Antony. So this is what Women's Aid said. They released a statement warning top clubs of the consequences of domestic abuse if action is not taken when allegations arise. They want a policy in place for Man United and various different clubs if a footballer who's in the the public eye is alleged to have done any of these things, because it sets a wrong precedent for victims of domestic abuse, or it even encourages, perhaps, or not encourages, but it maybe makes light of these allegations to the wider public. This is what their statement said. Domestic abuse is prevalent in our society, and all employers, including football clubs, need clear policies and procedures about what to do when allegations are made against an employee. When the alleged perpetrator is a high-profile footballer, we know from survivors of domestic abuse that has an impact on both football fans and wider society, who see them playing and celebrated on the pitch as a sign that the allegations are not being taken seriously by the club. Safeguarding is vital in these cases to ensure the safety of everyone involved while proceedings are ongoing. So they clearly are putting pressure on Manchester United to basically have a policy where if somebody gets allegations made against them in this sort of capacity, domestic abuse allegations, they should be essentially automatically suspended pending the results of the investigations and that kind of thing, which you could argue is right. But I also think that you've got to look at it from the other point of view. What if the player is actually innocent? So I don't know. It's really not an easy topic to discuss, but there you go. Of course, we want to safeguard anybody who's potentially a victim of domestic abuse. Of course, you have to. So yeah, it's not an easy topic to discuss, but that is the situation with Antony and Manchester United. They haven't suspended him just as of yet. They may well still suspend him based on more information coming out. It's a waiting game. But for right now, I'm not so sure if Antony should be suspended, because, as we've said, it could end up that the Brazilian authorities don't even pursue this if they've got the evidence from Antony, which he's released a statement saying he does have the evidence to prove his innocence, etc. And if that's the case, then United have done the right thing by not jumping the gun. But obviously, if that information then advances over in Brazil to the point where they are pursuing, then yes, Man United are going to have to suspend him. So that's what we're just waiting on, guys, unfortunately. The Sao Paulo police, etc., they're going to have to conduct their investigations. And if they pursue it, then I guess Man United will change their stance. And also, just the other bits and bobs of news we've said. Sancho alienated himself, it seems, from the squad, maybe with his statement on Ten Hag, his training methods, his training effort levels, etc. He has actually doubled down on his statement that he made the other day there by pinning this to his social media. So right now, if you go on his Twitter, Insta, places like that, this is pinned to the top of his social media channels, which basically insinuates that he's definitely sticking to his guns on this, and that, there's this rift with Ten Hag's not going away anytime soon, unless Ten Hag's prepared to have that conversation with him and forgive him, which I don't think he will, because Ten Hag doesn't like to be undermined and he's an authoritarian type figure. Imagine if this had happened in the Fergie days. It's the same sort of vibe. You can't tolerate this sort of player revolt and player power. You've got to stamp your authority on a situation like this. We did it with Cristiano Ronaldo. Ten Hag did it with Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo, the greatest player of all time, the biggest ego in football, amazing player, absolute hero of a player, but even he is not bigger than the manager. Even he is not bigger than Manchester United. And so Sancho definitely isn't. So I believe that Ten Hag has to sort of stamp down on this immediately by dropping the guy. And maybe if we can look for a new club for him, brilliant. There's supposedly an interest and an offer from Saudi Arabia, who could well be interested in bringing Jadon Sancho in. And we'll see if that materialises. But does Jadon Sancho want to leave Manchester United when he's on such a cushy number at the football club? That's basically the news of the day, guys. I'm going to get stuck into the live chat now for a Q&A and a chinwag with you legends. Keep smashing the likes. We're only 20 away from 200 thumbs up. So let's see if we can get 200 before the end of the show. And I'm going to go over to Twitter and shout out everyone now who's given us a retweet. Thank you all for sharing the show. It does really help us out. We've had 14 reposts. Thank you so much to Guyam Legend for giving us a quoted repost there. Very kind of you. Also, I'd like to say thank you to Aaron Homeyard, J United and Gaming, Uncaged Squid, Vincent Bullock, Ryan Berberspin9, aka the Gaming Simp Legend, Sanjay Ramatar, Feline Fur, the legend that is Jarvis Cocker, you hero. What's going on, bro? MUFC Brummy Weds, Tommy Boyle 71, you Don, Kieran Watts, some wanker called MMCG 2022, whose name on Twitter is 7-0 ha 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 with a picture of Mo Salah. Piss off, mate. Stephen Braun as well. Stephen Braun as well. Thank you very much for sharing the show as well. Cheers to you, legend. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. I'm going to get stuck into the live chat now for a chat. So do have your say. Oh, goodness me. Sell Sancho to Harchester United. No cherry coke, Kingface. No cherry coke, Dad. No, I'm on the H2O, bro. The sale of United this year is a must. Yes, sirree. Phil Jones. Well, Vincent, I actually did see some reports yesterday that he's been given a role as an under-18s coach, but then I saw some other reports later that said he was just sort of like shadowing the coaching staff and wasn't actually given the role. So I don't know yet, bud. But look, obviously I'm indifferent about it. Tommy says, any news, Joe, on the McGuff boys and Donny? I've lost track of what's happening. Okay, the McGuff boys and Donny. Well, the McGuff boys, they're not going anywhere if you're talking about McTominay and Maguire. Is that who you mean? I don't know. But those guys aren't going anywhere because the window's shut. Doesn't look like there's interest from Saudi or, Turkey, I don't think, for those guys. I'm pretty sure the only maybe leagues that transfer windows are still open right now is the Saudi Arabian League and maybe the Turkish League, maybe one or two others. But in terms of the reasonably good leagues, I think it's only those ones. So certainly I think the Saudi League isn't open to like the 15th of September. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm not too au fait with the Saudi Arabian transfer window, but I think it is open a little bit longer. So I guess some of these players could still be bought by Saudi Arabian teams. Sancho maybe being one of them. Alex says Saudi wants Sancho. We rinsed them to 120 million. Yeah. And in regards to Donny, it is known that there's interest from a couple of Turkish clubs in Donny van der Beek, and we are trying to sell him, Tommy Boyle. So maybe we could see Jadon and possibly Donny or one or two others maybe still leave before the end of the window. I doubt it, though. SP Freely, get in there, the SP Freely. Thanks for your super chat, bro. Steve, cheers for that, dude. He says a Saudi move for Sancho could only do in the world of good and certainly make him more match ready for United with regular game time overseas, says the SP Freely. A Saudi move for Sancho could only do in the world of good and certainly make him more match ready for United. Well, I suppose if he's not playing at United, to go over there and get game time, if he was to come back at United at some point, I guess that would be good for him. But surely if he's going over to Saudi, he's not coming back to Manchester United. Surely it'd be a permanent transfer or, a loan with an option to buy, an obligation to buy or something, because surely we're getting rid of him because his mentality's gash and he's not all that much of a good player, really. And Ten Hag's had this riff with him now, and that makes it hard to come back from. So I don't think it would be a case of him going there to make him more match ready for United, personally. I think it'd more be a case of we're getting rid of the wanker. So fair play, though. That's an interesting take, but I think it's just a case of cut, shutting and running on Jadon Sancho and getting rid of that melter. Eric Bailly's already pissed off to the Besiktas, Travis. Yeah, Eric Bailly's gone. So he signed for Besiktas 2 days ago, bro. He is no longer here. He is in the Turkish league, bro. Jassy Singh, thank you for your comment here with a super chat. He says Ronaldo doesn't have a World Cup. Or 7 Ballon d'Ors, big guy, says Jassy Singh. And what? What's that supposed to mean, Jassy Singh? I mean, that's a bit of a stupid comment, isn't it, mate? So you think the best player in the world has to have 7 Ballon d'Ors, and you think the best player in the world has to have a World Cup win? Well, that's just a calamitous standpoint, really. You could be a shit player and win a World Cup. If you're in the squad, you could be gash. But if your team's good and you win the World Cup, you've got a World Cup winner's medal. Doesn't mean you're the best player in the world, does it? And 7 Ballon d'Ors, really? You talk about Messi, 7 Ballon d'Ors? Listen to me, sunshine. Messi is a great player, one of the world's best, absolutely no doubt about it, lad. Personally, I think that World Cup was fucking fixed in favour of Argentina, my son. But also, in regards to the Ballon d'Ors, he's certainly got 2 more Ballon d'Ors than he should have got, son. He shouldn't have got that one in 2010. That should have gone to something like Iniesta, maybe even Wesley Sneijder, bro, who got to the World Cup final, won a treble with fucking Inter. You know, perhaps he should have gone to somebody else there who was a standout candidate that year. And there's another year as well when, in my opinion, Ronaldo should have won it. There's another year when Lewandowski should have won it. So if you ask me, the Ballon d'Or's got about as much fucking, you know, basis of a player being the world's best player ever as my big toe does, mate. It's fucking gash. Who cares about the Ballon d'Or wins, mate? It means nothing. It's just the mates who pick that. Oh, we love Lionel Messi, so we're going to select him every year, even when he's not been the best player in the year. And certainly in regards to the World Cup, that doesn't mean, if you've got a World Cup, that doesn't mean you're the best player either. You could just be a part of a squad that is awesome. To be fair, Messi is one of the world's best ever players. I think he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. What a player. Don't much like the guy, but he is an amazing player. I personally think Cristiano Ronaldo's right up there as well, and at his prime, probably the best I've ever seen. So, you know, say what you want. There's no right or wrong answer there in regards to who's the best, Ronaldo or Messi. Personally think that Ronaldo is probably the best, but, you know, if you're entitled to your opinion, and Messi, this debate's going to rage on forever. Messi does have a World Cup, and he does have a little bit more in terms of Ballon d'Ors, but those aren't metrics for me to measure who the best player ever is. Those aren't metrics for me. It helps, but those aren't metrics for me, bro. There you go. And Ronaldo's done it in every league, Batman Knight fan, as well. Not some French Farmers League and Yank League, bro. And staying at Barca, the best side in that generation for all that time with those great players. They're both great players. Exactly, Stoic Savage. Why do people need to dislike one or the other? I guess you just, I don't know. It's a good question, actually, Stoic Savage. They're both immense. I mean, it's two different types of players. I always liken it to, yeah, fair enough. I mean, Robin Hood, I don't know about that. How can you say Ronaldo's performances have been anything other than absolutely sensational since he's been a professional player? Come on. You know, his performances are immense. What he's done with Portugal, dragging them to European Championship wins and being the all-time goal scorer in international football for men and winning all that he's won. How can you say that he's not a great performer? You know, he's the most clutch player of all time in a lot of ways as well. He's a big game player. What I would say, I always liken it to Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. You've got somebody who's a mercurial sort of natural talent, who's probably the greatest naturally gifted talent of all time in Lionel Messi. And then you've got somebody who's sheer determination and sheer athleticism and sheer power and sheer, you know, gut and determination. And that's Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo's like Rafael Nadal. Messi's like Roger Federer. They're both fucking amazing in two different, completely different ways. Why do we have to choose one or the other, to be fair? It's a fair point. Okay. Jassy Singh, thank you so much for getting in here raw with another super chat, though. He says, no, Ronaldo's not close. Get a tissue box, mate. I don't need a tissue box. I've got a roll of shitter paper right here, my son. All right? But you're probably right. It would be softer. Get some of those Kleenex balsams or whatever with the aloe vera in there would have been a better call, mate, because I'm going to get a red nose. Probably, you know, similar to your nose. You've got a brown nose because you've got your head so far up Lionel Messi's fucking ass, my son. You know what I'm saying? Have a word with yourself, son. Stop fucking brown nosing Lionel so much, mate. Yeah, he's fantastic. Him and Ronaldo are both the GOATs. Let's just leave it at that. Josh says they are both quality players in their own right. Precisely. They're totally different. One's fire, one's ice. You know what I'm saying? Precisely. Right, anyway, guys, I'm going to have to wrap this up now because I'm getting pissed off. I'm getting pissed off, to be honest with you guys. But it's been a great chat. Thank you so much to you all for getting in here. You can come back after this video is finished and get into the debate about anything we've discussed. Ronaldo and Messi debates, that's so 2015. Do we have to even discuss this anymore at 2023 now, guys? Fucking hell. That's so old school. Can we not move on? Oh, I won't. I'll read one or two more comments out. Messi winning Ballon d'Or's a joke. Precisely. Look, Messi winning the Ballon d'Or, he's won it 2 or 3 times, arguably, when he should not have won it. That's why I don't really use the Ballon d'Or as a metric of who's the best player ever. It's a bullshit favoritism trophy. Kevin says Messi is the best. Iniesta next, beautiful player. Iniesta was a sensational player as well, but obviously a totally different player to the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, goal-scoring phenom. So, I mean, Iniesta's not even close to Ronaldo, is he? Iniesta, one of the greatest midfield talents of all time. But, you know, people like Messi and Ronaldo are like just leagues ahead in terms of their match-winning ability. Iniesta was one of the greatest midfielders I've ever seen. But to say that he's better than Ronaldo, that's fucking mental, lad. That's mental. Obviously, they're totally different players. He was a midfield maestro, but bloody hell. What are you on about, lad? Johnny says, excellent stream, Piggy. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate you. Hey, nice one, Stephanie says, we've got 191 likes, 9 more for 200. Yeah, let's see if we can get 200. Make sure you do drop a like on this video before you go. It's free to like the vid, so drop a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, we are on here daily, and we'll be back on at 10 p.m. tonight with the latest Manchester United goings on. So make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon. That way, you won't miss anything. And we'll also draw the giveaway winner. I haven't forgotten about that, guys. I melted last night and just completely forgot about it. But we're going to draw the giveaway winner tonight as well. So come back, see who's got the T-shirt. I did send off a few T-shirts earlier on as well. We've got Marky Nurse's T-shirts are out to him. Shawnee Hockridge's T-shirts are out to him. Who else? There's a couple of others I sent out today as well. Who's the other one? Oh, Edward Reed's T-shirt's gone to Canada, eh? You know, there's a bunch of T-shirts making their way out to you guys, so you'll be pleased to hear about that. Finally, they are shipped, which is great news. And then obviously we'll do a couple more tonight. Get in there, my son. Thank you, everyone. Come back and have your say in a minute then. A good shout, Nut. Ronaldinho was immense as well, lad. I mean, there's players in different ways, isn't there? You cannot deny, though, that Ronaldo and Messi's goal-scoring records are just way above everybody else's. You cannot really deny that. But yeah, Ronaldinho was immense at one point. Absolutely. In fact, he was one of my favourite players of all time. I'd say he's like the 5th or 6th best player ever. I love that guy. What a player. But, you know, his goal-scoring record, it pales in comparison to the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo's, though. And it's not all about goals. I know it's not all about goals, but, you know, come on. You've got to say that Ronaldo and Messi's records are just ridiculous. Obviously Messi, Kingface, what you on about, lad? Pele, what a goat as well. Yeah, fair play. Absolutely, I agree. People don't give him the credit he deserves, man, because it happened a long time ago, but he was an absolute genius. Right, we're going to wrap this up now, folks. Come back afterwards, get your thoughts and opinions in. Big up everybody in the live chat here for getting in there. Yes, Marky Nurse, get in there, my son. It's winging your way. Couple of T-shirts coming your way, my son. Everyone, thanks very much for watching and getting in here. Thank you, Michelle Ellis. I appreciate you all. Come back afterwards, have your say in the not live comments, drop a like, drop a subscribe, get your thoughts in here after the show, keep the debate going, and I'll see you on the next one. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com. Check out the links in the description for the social media channels, all at Flying Pig United on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick. In fact, if you're on TikTok, guys, go and subscribe to Flying Pig United on TikTok. Nearly at 1,000 followers over there, which means soon I can go live over there as well, which I probably will do, to be honest. Why not? Might as well just look and have it on there and do the show over on TikTok as well. So give us a follow up on TikTok if you're on TikTok at Flying Pig United. Guys, in fact, can you get an exclamation mark TikTok in there? I think that might work. I can't remember if that works or not. Maybe it doesn't. But you can give us a follow on TikTok. Watch Flying Pig United Extra as well. Yeah, there's the TikTok. I'll pin it to the top of the live chat. You might hate TikTok. You might think TikTok's gash. It is in a lot of ways. But give us a follow there over on TikTok if you haven't done. Flying Pig United. There it is. There's the link. It's pinned to the top. See you later on as well, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you all. That's it from me. Stay classy. Piggy loves you. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.